Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Matthew Bernesi, and I will be the MC Master of Ceremonies for today's pledge ceremony for the Bachelor of Human Movement Science, the Diploma in Sport Management, and the BHSC in Biokinetics. So thank you for joining us this morning. A pledge, according to the Oxford Dictionary, means a solemn promise or undertaking. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, a pledge is a serious or formal promise or something that you give as a sign that you will keep a promise. We are here today to witness our first year students make a promise not only to the community as professionals and practitioners, but also to their classmates, staff, and most importantly, yourselves, as they undertake this tremendously important journey at our institution named after the late Nelson Mandela. Excuse me. I would like to welcome and thank you all for joining us this morning for the second edition of the pledge-taking ceremony for our department. A few important welcomes for those who have joined us today. I'd like to firstly welcome the director of our school, Prof. Zoleka Soji. Welcome, Prof. The HOD of the department, Dr. Aisha Kolvadia. To the staff members of the three programs, welcome. The media crew, Philip and Anya, welcome. And most importantly, to the students for our three programs. Can you guys give me a wave? Welcome. So, just a quick, brief agenda for today's events. So we would have a few addresses, firstly by the director of our school, followed by a guest speaker. We will then do the three pledges, a vote of thanks, after which we will then conclude the proceedings. So without further ado, may I please ask the director of our school, Prof. Zoleka Soji, the HOD of our department, Dr. Aisha Kolvadia, to please come up for a brief welcome. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome. Firstly, welcome to our colleagues and welcome to each and every student that's here today. You have entered into a qualification, and we have three qualifications here today. So the Bachelor of Human Movement Science, the Biokinetics qualification, and the Diploma in Sports Management. So if you have to think to yourself, what is common between these three qualifications? And the first thing that would pop into your head would be the importance of physical activity and the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So all of you guys here today are registered and in this qualification because you have a passion for improved health and improved well-being and improved performance. You have gotten into the qualification because of the hard work and dedication that you put into your secondary schooling education, grades 10, 11, and 12, and for that, well done. But as you came into tertiary education, I'm sure that you found it to be a big jump from secondary school. Okay, you most likely had to move away from home, or you were no longer in classes that were timetabled. You had classes that were on a big timetable with all other different faculties, and it was a difficult process for you to navigate. You also have to understand that the latter part of your secondary education was mostly done online because of the COVID-19 pandemic that we had. So here you are today, and the reason why we're having this pledge ceremony is to ensure and to guide you and to make you have accountability in understanding that as a practitioner, as a healthcare practitioner, as a sports practitioner, as a manager, you take an oath unto yourself to be a good student, to be a good citizen, and to be a good person for society and community, because that is the most important. Also, a very important thing, we are part of a department within the Faculty of Health Sciences, And the school in which we find ourselves is the School of Lifestyle and Behavioral Sciences. So what it is that we want to do, we want to promote healthier lifestyles with healthy and good behavior, okay? In the words of Nelson Mandela, we have to also encompass what he has lived by and some of the teachings that he has taught. And amongst those would be to live with integrity, ethics, and good social conduct. Okay? Always carry that at the core of your being, at the core of your education, at the core of what you are going to do once you qualify from this profession. So you will notice that as we proceed with today's proceedings, you will each in the 3 different professions be given an opportunity to take the pledge, okay? And in this pledge, you're pledging to yourselves in front of your peers, and a recording will be made available for you guys that you can share with your friends, family, and loved ones to show the importance that you have placed on important principles such as integrity, hard work, and promoting good, healthy lifestyle behavior. So what I want to end off with saying is that we are incredibly proud of having you. We hope that you carry the name of the department with pride, and that the next 3 years, the next 4 years, the next 5 years, however long you find yourself in our department, you have a great team that is there to support you. Okay, so you can do your best. We look forward to seeing you walk across the stage in 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years' time, depending on your qualification, and we will be right there behind you, supporting you and cheering you every part of the way. So let us live and lead with respect, integrity, and passion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kalvadia, for those amazing words, and I hope that the students are paying attention to everything that's being said this morning. I know it's a bit early. I know as the department, we're not used to having such early classes. Z, can we get the registers, please, for the students? I'm going to take a register for extra marks. on Moodle, online attendance. But thank you very much, Dr. Kalvadia, for that talk. Like I said, very wise words. And just to echo your sentiments, hopefully, however long it takes you, hopefully the minimum amount of time required, and we'll see you all walking across the stage wearing these type of gowns that the staff have on today. And even further down the line, some of you wearing some of the nice red gowns that you see over there. Does anybody know the difference between the 2 colors? The red is for PhD, yes, nice one. There's a prize for you. See? Can we organize a prize? I don't see Angus here. Thank you. So, but yes, you're very correct. So the black is a diploma or bachelor's degree, and the red is when you decide to dedicate more of your life to the field and research, and you are then able to don the gown of the PhD. But we do have 2 professors in the house today as well. So, profs, thank you for joining us. Okay, just to speed things along, because I know we started a bit late, I'm going to jump straight into our next speaker. And just like all of you sitting here today, our guest speaker was also once a student who finished in the minimum amount of time, 3 years, thankfully. But he has been a great ambassador, I think, for health and wellness in the community. And something that I think all of us can actually look up to and strive towards getting more involved in the community through health and wellness. And that is the main purpose why we're all in the degrees or the diplomas that we are registered for today. So just a few accolades, or not accolades, but a few noting points for our guest speaker. So our guest speaker, like I mentioned, finished his 3-year degree for the Bachelor of Human Movement Science. He is also the co-founder of Espresso Coffee Mate Coffee Company, and he's also the managing director of Thunder Clothing, which is a health and wellness, fitness, lifestyle clothing company. He also does various fitness events throughout the Eastern Cape and Port Elizabeth. So please put your hands together for Kashif Jason. Thank you.
Good morning, or as I like to say, gym morning. Thank you for being patient this morning. I think rule number 1, starting university, know where your auditoriums are. I graduated, but I went to the wrong auditorium. So thank you for being patient for me this morning. I believe there is human movement science students, sports management, and biokinetic students here this morning. Eh? Lovely to see you guys. You guys are a nice, large group, so it's very encouraging. First and foremost, before I say anything, we obviously praise the Almighty for allowing us to be here, giving us the strength and health. And thank you to the staff and HOD for inviting me this morning. It's an absolute honor. Now, I've been given the task to motivate you guys. It's always a weird thing because I'm still so young, and I'm still tackling my goals, and I'm enjoying the journey. One thing I must say before I start to speak is that I've been on a lot of different journeys within this one scope, meaning, for a lot of professions, for example, if you study education, the ultimate goal is that you're going to become a teacher. If you study law, you're going to be a lawyer, so on and so forth. One thing I must make mention, and you'll see it in my journey now, is that while I was in this one faculty, I've done so many things within this one faculty, and that's the beauty and the blessing of this faculty of health sciences, is that as long as you stay on this path, but you're going to be finding yourself in so many different cities, so many provinces, so many institutes, and I think the important thing is just to enjoy the ride. Now, I've been given the task to motivate you guys and to share some inspiration. And I feel I can do this best by just sharing my journey, because it's been a lacquer journey. Okay, so I'll start off when I was a student. Okay, I came in as a human movement sciences student, just knew I had a passion for fitness, and I knew that I had a gift to work with people. That was my gift. I own it. Went through my studies, but I want to make a few important points of while you guys are students. Forget about the jobs and everything after. While you're a student, I made sure that I networked. Not just with the students sitting in this room, but with students in the education faculty, in engineering. You never know who you're going to work with in future. So make sure that you network and build strong relationships with people, because ultimately everything is about people. Business is people. The work out there is people. Everything is people. People. Just to give you an example of people, myself and Mr. Bonesi became very acquainted while we were students, while I was a student, and many other lecturers as well, especially Sir Anya as well. But I want to make mention just with Mr. Bonesi, specifically purely for the sake of, as much as I studied this, I opened another business as well. I opened a coffee company that he mentioned, Espresso Made Coffee. 3 branches in Canoob, East London. There's a trailer here in PE and a tuk-tuk in PE. And we've got contracts with various schools for coffee. I got my first very contract for that coffee through Mr. Bonesi. Nothing to do with human movement sciences, but the point I'm making here is build good relationships with people. You wouldn't have, given me that referral if I didn't create that trust, number one, and, just to show you, I'm a man of character, etc., etc. Okay, so that's the education side. One thing I must say while you guys are studying is try and be very specific about what type of field you want to go in. Because with human movement sciences specifically, there's so many different avenues that you guys can go into. You guys can become coaches. You guys can become S&C coaches. There's so many routes. Bios, same thing. As much as you're doing biokinetics, there's so many different types of bios that specialize in different things. I've met bios that work in the sporting field. I've met bios that are in the clinical side. And I've met bios that's part of, they own their own practices. Some become lecturers as well. Even met bios that are working at Discovery. I think it's pre-auth. That's what they're doing over there, pre-auth. So I think be very specific about what it is that you want to do. And a lesson that I learned was be very clear and specific, and go to your lecturers and tell them, listen, maybe a lot of you guys are in the same boat that I was. I knew that I had a specific passion and drive for this field, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do after, once I graduated. So I got so much assistance from my lecturers, paving the way and telling me, look, if you go this route, this is what you can do. If you go this route, this is what you can do. So I think that's a very, very important note that I want to make here this morning is actually have that conversations with your lecturers. As much as they seem like lecturers, there's this lecturer-student type of relationship. You might be very surprised. They just knock on their door outside of class and you'll become very close very, very soon as well. But obviously there has to be that level of respect. After I graduated, which was very exciting very exciting part of my journey. So after I graduated, I obviously had my degree, but it wasn't a liquor time to start work because, COVID was knocking on the door. But you had to reinvent yourself, you had to be very flexible. So what I did was, after I studied, I did SNC for the Chippa United boys, the Warriors cricket players, as well as some EP rugby players. So when I say that, they were obviously all on leave or whatever you want to call it due to COVID. What I did was, I started a small little practice in my yard. Bought a couple of equipments, kettlebells, you name it. Got a couple of those, I reached out to a few people, and lo and behold, I had about 13 of these guys training by me every single day. Just to show you that there's no specific route or specific way of doing things. As long as you're adamant and you persevere and you're creative, you can make it for yourself. So that was a nice start for me. It got my name out there. I started the whole thing gym morning, and that became a hit. And from there, when COVID opened up a little bit, I did fitness segments on the Espresso Show. Very exciting thing. I don't know if you guys know what the Espresso Show is. Anyone? You know? Yes? This class doesn't watch TV. Or they're not early. They're not up early enough. But yeah, what'd you say, TikTok? TikTok, okay. But anyway, so that's what I did for a while. And then, just with all the people that I met in the industry, I decided, and there was a huge gap for resistance bands in the market at the time. I think there was one other company called Flush Recovery that was up and running at that time. But there was still a shortage for resistant bands because people couldn't afford gym equipment and everyone needed to do something at their homes. Gyms weren't open yet. So that was the birth of my business, the resistant bands. I had ample knowledge of the field and the resistant bands, so it helped me a lot. Got resistant bands, and that's all my company sold. The company is called Thunder. That's what I'm currently wearing at the moment. That's all we sold, resistant bands, and resistant bands. But the key thing to us actually having the edge in the market at the time was the knowledge that you guys are going to be gaining here in this course. As much as the other companies sold the equipment, we sold the knowledge with the equipment as well. So your booklets, brochures, workout guides, that type of thing. And that set us apart, and we quickly gained market share. And boom, 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 you lead to another thing. Today, Thunder is a nationwide supplier of clothing. We moved over into clothing as well. We're a nationwide supplier of clothing, tracksuits, teamwear, etc. to schools and clubs around the country. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Grey High School, Pearson, Hoodridge. Those are the schools that we're servicing now. Still with the resistant bands, we supply Chippa United, we supply Hoodridge and Dominic's Priory, so on and so forth, just to mention. With the events as well, Matthew mentioned something about the Thunder events. We started this Thunder event, I think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago? We started this Thunder event because there's a huge gap, and you guys will see it now as well. There's a huge gap between people who don't want to work out at all, or that where exercise seems daunting, and your gym freaks, your gym rats, your athletes. There's a huge gap between this. And I think your role here as students and even the lecturers here is to educate yourselves to try and see how can we bridge that gap to make our nation a nation that's active. We've got so many sedentary lifestyles here in South Africa. It's crazy, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just a lot of people don't have the education as well about exercising, because exercising seems daunting. I mean, if you're not into it, it seems a bit daunting. So I think the reason why we started those events was, to educate and to motivate people and to bridge that gap that I was speaking about. And I mean, the events that we did, I wish I had some videos that I could have sent you guys now. But the events that we did wasn't even some serious. You have a lot of these CrossFit events and it's so serious. But what we did was something simple. We said, you know what, we're going to start a fitness event and it's for everyone. It's for everyone. We had people from the ages of 13 there. The oldest individual was about 60 odd. I mean, it was packed. It was packed. I mean, we started the event at the Rooftop Garden Bar with 12 people, our first one, to eventually reaching out to Fairview, and we averaged events of 100 people. I mean, it's something to be proud of. It's just something for you guys to draw inspiration as well. It was a success in Port Elizabeth, and we had 2 events in Cape Town as well. So, yeah, that's been my journey just with regards to Thunder and human movement sciences, and how I've implemented the skills that I've learned, the relationships that I've got, and how it's gotten me to this place. I still look forward to a lot more. Just to give you guys a heads up as well, we do have contracts with some schools and some clubs where we actually employ human movement scientists or sports conditioners, and place them in these schools where you guys are able to take the programs, create the programs, and then implement it with the players on the field. So I look forward to working with a lot of you guys in future as well. Even if you guys want to do your hours, I'm always open and available. But I want to leave with one thing, and I hope that my journey, even though I briefly just spoke about it, that you guys can get some pointers and inspiration from one thing at least. I hope that I, could have impacted some of you guys. I am going to be available afterwards as well, just for some chit chat. But I'm going to leave with a quote, and I think my journey is. I think it's so, it really goes with a quote that I learned while I was a student. And it says, be steadfast on your goals. So be very stern and steadfast on your goal. But be flexible with the steps to achieving them. Because you never know what your environment's going to throw at you. But I'm going to repeat it again. And it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're going to start a business, whether you're going to become a buyer, whether you're going to become the best sport agent in the world. Be very steadfast on your goal. Be stern with it. But be flexible with the steps to achieving them. Thank you.
Wow. I knew something was coming. I didn't know it was going to be that great. Thank you, Kashif. I think you should add motivational speaking into your CV as well. Something I always thought I was good at, but I think I have a lot of work I need to learn, and I think I'm going to definitely come have a chat to you after this. But thank you very much. Can we have another round of applause for Kashif? Thank you. And I really hope that he's inspired you, because as I said, he was just like you guys, sitting here in the same seat, didn't do a pledge, but I think you didn't take the pledge, but I think your actions speak louder than any pledge could have actually done. And I hope that the words that Kashif has actually said here this morning has inspired you guys. And I think it just shows you the full journey that you guys as students are about to, undertake. But yeah, thank you very much, Kashif. So, moving forward with our ceremony this morning, we are going to move on to the pledges. So, how the pledges are going to work, we're first going to do the Diploma in Sport Management, then the Bachelor of Human Movement Science, and then the PhD in Biokinetics. How this is going to work is we're going to ask the class rep to come forward. Okay? The class rep is going to lead with a mic, but you guys in each program will still need to read with the class rep. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Okay. So could I please ask the Diploma in Sport Management class rep, Tanayo Mohale, to please come forward? Thank you. Can we have a clap? And can I please ask the sport management students to stand? Thank you.
And fellow students, I, Dineo Mohale, hereby take this pledge as a sport management student within the health sciences faculty. As I embark on developing myself into becoming a professional sport manager in service of society, I promise to uphold the values embraced by Nelson Mandela University, the Faculty of Health Sciences, and the Department of Human Movement Science, these being integrity, professionalism, excellence, accountability, social responsiveness, and resilient wellness. As a sport management student, I will do my best to understand and respect my academic and personal responsibilities, my freedom of expression, my duty to respect and serve my fellow human being, and my obligation to protect the environment that I share with others. I will strive to be a hardworking and reflective student, using every opportunity presented to grow in my profession. I will honor those who teach and mentor me, as well as those who guide my practical and life skill development. I will continuously embark on learning with gratitude, humility, and will not be swayed by greed, prejudice, or selfish ego in this process, nor in the practice of my profession. May I always have the courage and character to uphold this pledge, sacred from this day forward as I place myself into the service of humankind. This oath I make solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Daneo. Can I please ask Nyasha Kunaka to please come forward for the BHMS pledge recital? Thank you.
Can the HMS students stand up? Good morning, everyone. We can start in 3. 1, 2, 3, go. In the presence of family, friends, educators, and colleagues, I take this pledge as a human movement science student within the health sciences faculty. I pledge to uphold the university, faculty, and department values as I embark on developing myself into a professional in service of society. In my pursuit to become an excellent human movement scientist, I promise to uphold the values embraced by Nelson Mandela University as I embark on my journey towards becoming the full version of myself. I promise to uphold the faculty's values of integrity, professionalism, excellence, accountability, social responsiveness, and resilient wellness. As a human movement science student, I will do my best to understand and respect my academic and personal responsibilities, my freedom of expression, my duty to serve others, and the environment that I share with others. I will strive to be a reflective student, using every opportunity presented to develop in my profession. I will honor those who teach me, mentor me in my academic pursuit and skill development. I will continuously embark on the gratitude and humility in the presence. I will not be swayed by greed, prejudice, or selfish ego in the practice of my profession. I will respect the communities within which I learn from, engage in, and will present myself with integrity that is demonstrable for a human movement science student. May I always have the courage and character to uphold those principles sacred this day forward as I place myself into the service of humankind. This pledge I make solemnly, freely, upon my honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Nyasha. And finally, can I please ask Memory Koza to come forward for the BHEC and Biokinetics pledge recital? Thank you.
Can the biokinetic students stand up? Yeah, we can start. In the presence of family, friends, educators, and colleagues, I take this pledge as a biokinetic student within the health science faculty. I pledge to uphold the university faculty and development values as I embark on developing myself into a professional in service of society. In my pursuit to becoming an excellent health professional, I promise to uphold the values embraced by Nelson Mandela University as I embark on my journey towards becoming the full version of myself. I promise to uphold the faculty's values of integrity, professionalism, excellence, accountability, social responsiveness, and resilient wellness. As a biokinetic student, I will do my best to understand and respect my academic and personal responsibilities, my freedom of expression, my duty to serve others, and the environment that I share with others. I will strive to be a reflective student, using every opportunity presented to develop in my profession. I will honor those who teach and mentor me in my academic pursuit and clinical development. I will continuously embark on learning with gratitude and humility. In this, I will not be swayed by greed, prejudice, and selfish ego in the presence of I will respect the communities within which I learn from, engage in, and will present myself with the integrity that is demonstrable by. May I also have the courage and character to uphold this sacred from day forward as I place myself into the service of humankind. This pledge I make solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all three programs and to all three class reps for being brave and coming to stand up. I hope maybe it sparks something inside you to want to become a lecturer one day. But thank you very much, everyone. We are almost at the end of our proceedings today. We would just like to do a few thanks. So can I please ask Dr. Calvadia to come forward to help me hand out the small token of appreciations to everybody. Okay, can I please ask Philip Hulzer to come forward? Philip, part of the media team, for your always willing to help the HMS department. Thank you, Philip. Philip, the Benessis are making you work hard this week. My wife is in another faculty and we really asked Philip and Anya to do a lot of work for us, but thank you. Can Anya Nivot also please come forward? Thank you. Thank you, Anya. And can I please ask our guest speaker to please come up, Kashif Jason. Thank you, Kashif.
Well done.
I don't know if I can say, Jim, thank you. Thank you very much. And lastly, to Prof. Zoleka Soji for joining us today. Please, Prof, come forward. You also allowed some spoils. So we can ask our Dean of School to give you a wave. This is our Dean of School. Can our department director, please wave. Thank you. And that's it. And apparently I need to thank myself as well. So thank you. Pat on the back. Thank you. I would just like to thank everybody who participated. Thank you to the staff for joining. Thank you. Yes, thank you to the students. Thank you to Philip and Anya. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of the day and an awesome weekend. Before you leave, there are some snacks outside, so please help yourself, okay, and enjoy it. And have a lovely weekend further. Thank you, everybody.